Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pitattvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Sakhattvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Hari Om. We are doing the 11th chapter of Panchadasi, and Vidyaranya talks about predominantly the happiness that one gets, and he classifies as first three types of happiness. One is Brahmananda, that is when one recognizes that I am Brahman, that is the maximum happiness or absolute happiness of Brahman. Here happiness is not the what you gain, but it is the intrinsic nature of Brahman. Satchit Anandam. It is of the nature of existent consciousness, and happiness, because it is limitless, that is infinite, because any limitations causes suffering. Therefore, it is the lack of suffering, therefore it is a absolute happiness, because it is of the nature of happiness itself. It is the nature of infiniteness, limitless. And during deep sleep state, we experience that because there is no subject-object duality. So, pure consciousness, Satchidananda, gets reflected in the pool of Anandamaya Kosha, that is mind in the subtlest form, where the Annamaya Kosha merged into Pranamaya, Pranamaya into Manomaya, and Manomaya into Vijnanamaya, and Vijnanamaya, that is intellectual sheet, is folds itself, and that folded mind, that means there is no subject-object duality. It's not a folding as a folding, but there is no subject-object. It is introverted, where no thoughts are entertained. Therefore, there is no the triputi, knower, known, knowing are not there, but still there is since it's an absence of suffering, and one feels full as it is, and therefore the scripture says Nakanchana Kamam Kamayata, the deep sleep state. This Mandukya Upanishad defines it as where there is no desire for it, because there is a desire, no desirer, nor desired object, and therefore the Ahankara is in the potential form or subtle form, and therefore the mind is calm and quiet. There is no ownership of the happiness there, while one is happy or one is not having any suffering. So reflection of pure consciousness in the quietened mind is Brahmananda, and that's how the Brahmananda, and the effect of that is now being discussed in the when the Jnanamaya is also awake. The same Brahmananda is now reflected whenever the desire is fulfilled. So here he classifies as the Ananda due to Vasanas. Vasanas is when I have a desire fulfilled, in those moments I am completely serene, no more wanting mind. In that state of quietness of the mind, the reflection of pure consciousness occurs, and therefore there the Ananda is reflected, and I say I am happy. So Vasanananda is due to the desires at the level, and that's what essentially is being analyzed now. He says there are three types of in the Jagrata, in the waking state, the mind and awakes up, and along with the mind, when awake, the consciousness now ripples through from each kosha is opening now. So Vijnanamaya and Manomaya opens up, and from Manomaya the Pranamaya opens up, and Pranamaya the Annamaya Kosha. So the whole Annamaya Kosha includes the whole body itself, that is Sthula Sariram. So therefore the consciousness is enlivening the whole process, and therefore one is conscious of the body as well as the Annamaya Kosha is conscious of, Sthula Sariram, and also the mind and the pranas and emotional center, the mind, and also the intellectual. All are now awake in the Jagrata. In the Netre Jagaranam, so in the expression of consciousness in the waking state is through the eyes. That's what I say. When the eyes is open, we know that he is awake normally. So therefore, if you are awake and deliberately closing your eyes, that's a different story. But we are talking about the people who get up from the deep sleep state, and first thing they do is they open your eyes, and therefore open your minds. That is the sign of awakeness and sign of the Jagarat, the waking state. Kante Swapnaha. The throat is a center for the dream, according to the Upanishad here, and that is in the Aitreya Upanishad, and it's in the chapter 1, third sloka, the third section, and the 12th mantra, and also Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. It's a 4-2-2-1. In that, it's being specified in terms of the nature of waking state and the dream state and the deep sleep state. So Kante Swapnaha Suptaha Hrudambude. In the deep sleep state is in the Hrudambude. That means in the very heart here, in the core of personality. What's the core of personality? I am. So that is what Brahmananda is. That's where it's meant as I am what? I am ignorant, or I am happy. But I am as conscious of the Sthula Sarira and all are not there. Only the experience of the Ananda, and the experience does not involve Triputi, and it is direct experience of the total. That's why I can recollect I was happy and I was ignorant, I didn't know anything. So both are possible in the I don't know means I don't have any knowledge of the subject-object reality. Apada mastakam deham yapya jagarti chetanaha. So one is conscious of from the tip of the toes to the top of the head. One is conscious of, because anything happened, he is conscious. If you touch anywhere, he is conscious. That means consciousness pervading the whole body. We are doing the 92 sloka, that is Dehata adatma mapnannaha taptaya pindavattadaha aham manusya itchevam nischitchaivavatishtate. So Dehatma tadatmyam. Tadatmyam means complete identification with the body. And therefore, it is the gross body is identified. I am this gross body by who? By the ahankara. Essentially, I am this. That is what is tapta ayaha pindavatu. Just as the red hot iron ball. Here, red hot iron ball is where exactly iron by itself is not red hot. It is black. But this is, we are talking about in those days, not stainless steel. So red hot iron is black by nature, but because of the heat, it looks red. And therefore, where exactly is the redness? All over. In the same way, it says, Tapta ayaha pindavato. This example is used extensively in Vedanta. So, Deha tadatmyam, identification with I am the body, is so intense with the total body. Apanna, having become, tadaha, thereafter, aham manushyaha iti nischitya eva avatishtate. So exist as identification, I am this body. So body has certain properties which is different from other bodies. So I am a human being, and other bodies are like an animal and a crow and all birds. So depending upon the shape of the body and the functions, we identify a jati. I become, this is a Manushya jati. In that again I identify in a particular that I am so and so, so and so. All those things come into picture. Here he is only talking about aham manushyaha. So iti eva nischitya. So its an example is aham manushya iti evam nischitya eva avatishtate. So it behaves, exists as such. I am a human being, and therefore I want this, I want that, and so on and so forth. And then he says there are three types of happiness that one gets even in the waking state is being defined here. Udasina sukhi dukkhi iti avastatrayamechyaso. Udasina sukhi dukkhi iti avastatrayamechyaso. Sukha dukkhe karma karye Tvaudasinyam swabhavataha. Together. Udasinaha sukhi dukkhi iti avastatrayamechyaso. Sukha dukkhe karma karye Tvaudasinyam swabhavataha. So asau, that is this jiva who is awakened, waking state we are referring to. Udasinaha sukhi dukkhi is defining three states of mind. One is udasinaha, I am indifferent, number one. Sukhi, I am happy. Dukkhi, I am miserable. So I am happy, I am dukkhi, I am happy, I am unhappy or miserable. And udasinaha, it doesn't bother me, indifferent. So iti, 2-3 states have been identified. This is a state of the mind. Iti avastatrayam. These conditions are there in the waking state. Essentially, he is classifying all human behavior into either he is indifferent or he is happy or he is unhappy. And that's what he is going to explain more as we see. Three conditions, ete, experiences, sukhi, dukkhi, and karma karyo as a result of the deeds. So here he is associating the happiness as due to karma karyam. That means the results of the actions will tell whether, hey, I am happy with this result, I am unhappy with this result, and it doesn't bother me. So it is indifferent. All the three states of the classification has been mentioned here, depending upon the actions. So one has to act. Why one acts? Because he feels I am a deha, I am a limited being, and I want to become infinite because that's my nature. Nature is I am Satchidananda, therefore I am Brahman. That means I am infinite. Because I identify I am only this, since I do not know that I am infinite, I take myself, I am the body, therefore I try to solve a problem by acquiring this. By action comes into picture in trying to make myself infinite. So that is essentially, because I want this, I want this, I want this, when I get it, whether I am happy, and if what I get is not what I like, then I am unhappy, and it doesn't matter to me, then it is indifferent. So there are three states. Karma karye, as a result of this, audasinya, indifference to, on the contrary, swabhavataha, nature. Jiva experiences sukha dukkha due to past deeds. So one is audasinya, means indifference is his nature, and depending upon the likes and dislikes, he experiences the happiness and suffering. So if he doesn't have any likes and dislikes, the audasinyam, that means he is indifferent to the results. So one has to be careful here. So how does a jnani operates? He does not have any likes and dislikes, and therefore what does he do? So whatever that comes is indifferent. He enjoys or suffers at the same time. He is not longing for it. So his happiness and is only a temporary body comforts only, and he is all the time indifferent to the ups and downs in the world. So the dukkeshu anudvignamanaha, sukeshu vigataragaha. So that is, either he is elevated or he is done. That means he is indifferent. Indifferent is a natural, it says, and ups and down is not natural. That is either you likes and dislikes, depending upon likes and dislikes. If you don't have any likes and dislikes, then whatever comes you accept as a part of the either prasada buddhi or due to prarabdha you accept it. That's what is there. Here he is saying that udasinatvam is natural, and other one is depending upon the nature of the desires, you get happy or unhappy. That changes from individual to individual, whereas udasinata is common for everyone. So this is further explained now. 94. Bahya bhogat manorajyat sukha dukkhe dvidhamate sukha dukkhantarateshu bhavit tushnim manastitihi bhavet tushnim avastitihi. Together. Bahya bhogat manorajyat sukha dukkhi dvidhamate sukha dukkhantarateshu bhavet tushnim avastitihi. So bahya bhogat, due to enjoyment of bahya means external pleasures and desires. So due to external experiences, bahya bhogat manorajyat, and due to mental projections and daydreaming and projection of internally without nothing to do with, so people sit there and keep on imagining all sorts of things. So manorajyam and bhakyam, that is internal pleasures that by imaginations, and other one is by experiencing objects that are there in the world, that is not his creation. Manorajyam is his creation. So his creation based on previous experiences. So bahya bhogat manorajyat sukha dukkhe. So sukham and dukkham, either happiness or suffering, sukha dukkhe dvida, these two kinds, mate, are known. So these are two kinds that are known depending upon the one's vasanas. So either external happiness or internally sitting and enjoying it. That's all, both are there, are possible. Sukha dukkha antarateshu. So in the antara, in between the sukha and dukkha. So when I'm happy, whenever something is there, I'm happy. When the things are not conducive, I'm unhappy. So these two fluctuating things keep coming and going depending upon my vasanas. If nothing is there, nothing coming or indifferent to that, then it is in between. So this interval between these two, sukham and dukkam, if it is fluctuating too fast, then there is not much of interval. But if it is only once in a way you are happy or unhappy, in between you are indifferent. So sukha dukkha antarateshu, between these two, tushnim avastitaha, the state of indifference bhavet. In between these fluctuating happiness, unhappiness, you are indifferent, that the mind is as no desire prompted happiness is not there, or desire prompted unhappiness is not there. It's calm and quiet, and that's called the in between state. So even for the state of mind of Lord is indifference, in the sense it doesn't care what happens to the fluctuating internal fluctuation of all jivas, doesn't affect me. So maya tatamidam sarvam jagad avyakta murtina mastani sarva bhutani. In me all beings are there. Mastani sarva bhutani nacha aham teshu avastitaha. I am not affected by their states. So that means I am indifferent. I am not affected means neither ups and down I will not be having. I am udasinam, is constant, and no excitement, no other. If he takes avatara purusha, then he may go through the drama of excitement and all that, even though he is not affected really from the absolute point, he is not really affected. That's what has to be. The Ishvara state is also udasinam. Udasinam means indifference is the natural state. Ups and downs are not natural, because in the udasinam, the mind is calm and quiet and no agitations there. So he's going to talk more about Udasina Purushaha. Nakapi chinta mestyadya nakapi chinta mestyadya sugamasa iti bhruvan sugamasa iti bhruvan audasinye nijananda bhanam vakcho khilo janaha together. Nakapi chinta mestyadya sugamasa iti bhruvan audasinye nijananda bhanam vakcho khilo janaha. So Akhila Janaha. So Akhila Janaha means all beings. This means everyone. Adya now. Me for me. Kapi any chinta worry nasti. So everybody feels once in a way that I have no suffering here. It doesn't bother me. So therefore, Vajja once in a way. Adya means here once in a way. Me for me. Kapi chinta na asti. No worry at all. Oh, I'm not worried. So whatever that comes, I am not worried. So that means whatever comes can be positive or negative, but I have no desire because I have transcended the state. So that means I am happy as I am. Therefore, this doesn't change my state because I have understood I am Brahmasmi. So Jnani feels Udasina with an understanding. Other times when the rest of the jivas, because Akhila Janaha, everybody feels Udasinam when this result does not affect him. So what happens in the remote country somewhere and some elections going on, somebody is winning and somebody is losing, the result I hear, but it doesn't affect me because I have nothing to do with it. So therefore Udasina is, but if it happens something close to me, close to my house, then I am affected and I feel agitated and so on. So this happens, when you read the big earthquake occurring in Japan or somewhere. Japan, a lot of earthquakes come. So if you hear an earthquake, lot of big earthquake in Japan, so it will be Udasinaha because we read the news, oh, there was a lot of earthquake and this much of magnitude, all that we read, and people are affected and tsunami or whatever that's being coming. Our reactions will be less. Suppose I have my relative somewhere there, then I'm excited. What happened to him? Where is he? It's close to where earthquake is. Then I'm agitated about the results of that. So therefore, I-ness and minus makes me worried about the results, whereas when the ego, I-ness and minus is coming from the ego, when that is not involved, then it is Udasinaha. That's for Akhila Janaha, for many beings, once in a way, they are Udasinyam. Udasinyam means indifferent to the results of the actions that are performed by you or by somebody else. So it says, I am indifferent iti bhruvan. So in this way people say, oh, I don't care what happens. So if you're not bothered about somebody that's happening, you may have a close relative, now you're not in touch with him, then whether somebody is getting married or somebody is not getting married or somebody getting divorced, that doesn't bother you. You just hear the news, that's all. So it is that because it's your I-ness not is involved or my-ness is not involved, therefore ahankara and mamakara is not there. At that time Audasinyam, for the results that are coming in, there will be an Audasinyam, means indifference to it. Iti bhruvan, Audasinye, in the indifference, Nijananda bhanam, experience of one's own bliss, Vyakti is saying. So when it is there, not there, what happens? The mind is not agitated. At that time, mind experiences one's own happiness. But one's own happiness provided mind is not agitated with other things. So some news, I don't care, but other news are bothering me. Suppose no news or no information, nothing is affecting me. I am calm quietly in a place where no news at all, and I don't have any desires, and I am not agitated at all. So whatever comes, whatever doesn't come, then I am not affected at all. Then my own happiness gets reflected there. That means my mind will not get agitated with the activities of the world, whether it's far away or it's manorajyam and anything. But some of the things many people is the news doesn't affect from what is coming. Like, so you give an example of the earthquake in Japan or somewhere, it may not affect us, but local something else is happening, so my mind is involved in that, therefore there it gets affected. So udasiniam is when nothing is disturbed, then in those moments then I am happy as I am. That's what essentially Nijanandaha is. Essentially the one's own happiness gets reflected. So if the one's happiness, if the mind itself is agitated due to something else still local, then my happiness will not be complete and it will be affected. So all boils down to whether the mind is serene or calm and quiet. If the news doesn't bother you, then it's calm and quiet. If the news bothers you, then it gets agitated, therefore happiness gets dispersed. So therefore you cannot have happy. That's all it is. So whenever the mind is happy, whenever the mind is calm and quiet and serene, in those moments the happiness that one experiences is from my own self, and that is called Nijanandaha. So that's what it has to be. So Brahmanande itself is the Vishayanandaha or Vasananandaha. Same happiness that I am gets reflected whenever the mind is serene and calm and quiet. And that's the bottom line of all this. 96. Ahamasmi chahankara, ahamasmi chahankara, samanya chadi tatvat, samanya chadi tatvataha, samanya chadi tatvataha, ahamasmi chahankara, samanya chadi tatvataha. Nijanandona mukhyayam, Nijanandona mukhyayam, kim tvam sau tasya vasana, kim tvasau tasya vasana. Nijanandona mukhyayam, kim tvasau tasya vasana. Together. Aham asmi chahankara, samanyachadi tatvataha, Nijanandona mukhyayam, kim tvasau tasya vasana. So vasana, Ananda is going to be explained now. Aham asmi iti, aham asmi, I am existing. That means I am this, existing as this body, this mind, this intellect, and this, all this I am this is there. That is aham asmi iti. That is essentially ahankara. And samanyam. So I am this. This is a common and the for all peoples, and it is there in all my transactions. It is there in everyone's transactions. I am this. I am transacting with that. So that notion, either expressively or in the subtle form, that ahankara will be there all the time. So even when in the deep sleep state also ahankara is there in a potential form. Therefore when he gets up he says, I slept very well. That means owning that sleep happiness or sleep experience is ownership, comes from the I am this and therefore I slept very well. So ahamasmi chahankara samanya chadityu tatvataha. So samanya achadi tatvataha. So by being the ahankara is being covered at that moment, it says Nijananda mukhya primary na kintu asau. This tasya vasana, this is what vasana ananda. So he is calling it the ananda that I am getting when I am indifferent. He is calling it as vasana ananda. Why is it vasana kanda? He is going to explain more. Because I do not have particular object oriented happiness or object oriented unhappiness, and I am serene and keep. So it is not relatable to any fulfillment of a desire, and therefore there is no ahankara janitam. This is, I want this, I don't want this, I like this, I don't like this. That is ahankara. And if the happiness coming from that is called Vishayananda, whereas in the indifferent case, what is the happiness? Is happiness, the ahankara is not there, and therefore I am identifying myself with the serene. But even there, actually ahankara is there in a subtle form, and that's what is going to be described as vasanananda. If I have vasanas and then having a happiness in the indifference, then that is called vasanananda. If I have no vasanas, then ananda is brahmananda. So you have Brahmananda, Vasanananda, Vishayananda. So he is classifying three levels of Ananda, and he is discussing now a Vasanananda which is separate from Vishayananda. We will go into more details in the next sloka. We'll stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.